Dr. Maury, Uncivilized Vitality, another quick video about Ropecraft. All right, so this is going to be another clarification video because I see this terminology used a lot on YouTube, and I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, or at least our Uncivilized chapter members. So the difference between a slip knot and a noose. So come on in, I'll show you this. So here we have in my right hand I have the running end or the working end, and here's the standing end of my fast rope dropping down. I'm going to make a simple overhand loop. Okay, so I'm going to make an overhand loop about a foot down from the free end, and this is facing your perspective. Now if I pull the free end through that loop, or a bite of the free end, and tighten that down, so that loop forms an overhand knot around that free end, that is a slip knot. It's a slipped knot. Okay, because when I pull that back through, you see these two parallel lines are the slipped end, and they would just pop back through. Okay, just like that. So I make a loop, I tuck a bite of the running end through the free end, I've made a slipped knot, or sometimes called a slipped noose, right? Because I can slide that down, but if I pull on the standing end, nothing happens. I pull on the free end, it slides up and down. Now, the difference between a slipped knot and a noose is I make that overhand loop again, and this time I push through a bite from the standing end and tighten it up with the overhand knot. Now, if I pull on this free end, nothing happens to the loop, but the standing or working part of the rope becomes the part that moves and slides through that overhand knot. This is a noose. This is not a slip knot. They're not the same. The standing end, as the part that moves through the overhand knot, makes this a noose, a simple noose. Okay? Pulling on the free end of the rope does nothing except tighten the knot. If I make an overhand loop and tuck a bite of the free end through there, now I've made a slip knot, because when I pull on the standing end, nothing happens except that rope or that knot would tighten a bit. But the free end of the rope slides or slips through that knot. Now, there are lots of applications for both, for the simple noose and the slip knot, but it's not a slip knot just because you pull either end through that overhand knot. It's very specific. The working end goes through, free end, working end, that goes through, it's a slip knot. If the standing end is pulled through, a bite on the standing end is pulled through, it becomes a simple noose. The difference is just in not only the terminology and the parts of the rope you tie, but it's important later for applications, because slip knots will either collapse or come undone if you pull on the right part, and whereas a noose will tighten and be difficult to get undone. So it's like the difference between a running slipped knot that you use in a trucker's hitch versus a marlin spike hitch, which is just the turn is folded over the rope toward the running end, becomes a running slipped knot. And if the turn is laid over the standing end and pulled through, it becomes a marlin spike hitch. That'll be a clarification video for another time. So there's a difference between the simple slipped knot and the simple noose. Like, share, subscribe if you want to know more about this sort of knot clarification and these type of videos that are kind of quick and hopefully helpful. All right, leave some comments, share, like, subscribe to the channel and all that, and that's it.